All right, guys, so no messing around today, nothing else. Let's talk about Cybertruck and exactly what's going on with it. Is it all hype? Is it a complete flop? What are my thoughts on it? Is it going to be good or bad for Tesla stock in general? And there's a monster warning that we have to talk about in regards to Cybertruck because it's already cropping up. I'm already seeing it. I'm already hearing it. And if you pay attention to it, it could very well create a complete disaster for your thoughts and your thesis on Tesla stock. So we have to discuss that as well. So make sure you like the video if you like getting the truth without the hype, guys. And if you like having an honest take on Cybertruck and not just Tesla to the moon, or it's the worst thing ever, total trash. Let's just kind of stick with facts and kind of move forward. And don't forget my new channel about early retirement and financial freedom. It'll be the pinned comment down there. But let's jump into the video right here. I'm actually going to play for you guys the video I made for my group that specifically talks about Cybertruck. It was shortly after the event. I'd finally gotten to watch it. It just didn't make a whole lot of sense for me to rehash the same points here when I could just play you the video there and get you guys the same exact information. And of course, if you want to be a part of the group and get these videos in real time, along with watching earnings calls and everything else, make sure you check out the pinned comment as well. There'll be a link down there to join my group as well. But let's dive into the video here and talk about Cybertruck. All right, guys, I know I'm a little bit behind here, but I just got done watching the Cybertruck event, going through all the different data points and everything else, the cost and the price and all that good stuff. So I kind of wanted to give you guys my thoughts here and a little bit of a warning as well, because I'm already seeing some kind of, I won't call it disturbing things, but something you need to be made aware of as we kind of move forward here, as the noise on both sides, the bulls and the bears, does the typical Tesla thing of kicking all the way up to the moon. Now, keep in mind, everything I talk about today and everything you're hearing about demand for Cybertruck or anything else is all pure speculation, guys, including myself. I am simply speculating based upon, just kind of various data points that don't really mean a whole lot, because this isn't like the Model 3 or the Model Y or something like that, where you can reasonably conclude that demand's going to be at a certain point. With Cybertruck, it is so divisive, it's so polarizing, it is impossible to know what's going to actually happen. So just that's kind of the angle I'm coming from, and I'm being upfront with you guys that this is all pure speculation. And any other YouTuber out there or a media person or anybody else talking about demand's going to be this, demand's going to be that, nobody has a freaking clue. And if you want to be perfectly honest, I'm not even sure Elon has a clue as to what the actual demand's going to be. I'm not talking about the upfront demand here with everybody who just wants the newest thing Tesla puts out, period. I'm talking, is this thing going to be a hit or is it going to be a complete miss? Everybody is speculating at this stage when you do something that is so, out in left field, whatever you want to call it, whatever analogy you want to make there, everybody's speculating. So I want to make sure we have that up front here. Now, everything in terms of the specs, it's cool. I watched that. It didn't show me as much. It was kind of neat, some of the things there, but I did watch NKBHT's video on it as well in terms of tech reviews. He tends to be one of the more unbiased tech reviewers out there. I understand some people disagree with that, understand. But a lot of times, like, I'm not a tech guy, so I have to rely, if I want to know whether the new iPhone is good or not or something like that nature, I have to kind of go to a lot of his reviews and such. I found them to be kind of just gives me the good, the bad, whatever the case is. Hey, kind of make your decision for yourself, which all I'm looking for is information. So I kind of, those right there were the kind of the two things that I watched to kind of combine what I thought. There's lots of neat stuff. Obviously, we all knew he was going to throw in a lot of bells and whistles and, bulletproof and all kinds of other cool stuff like that are just awesome. Practical? I have no freaking clue. Probably not. The vast majority of the things are completely unnecessary, but that's part of what makes it awesome as well. You guys have talked about it. I've talked about it before. For me, it's the only Tesla I would ever consider buying. That's it. I find all the other models boring. I'm sorry. The X was kind of cool because it had the gold wing doors like a DeLorean, but beyond that, just none of the models do anything for me. It's a ho-hum car. Not a whole lot there in regards to style to myself personally. Now, again, I like used old beat up cars anyways, because it doesn't cost me any money. But the Cybertruck was the first vehicle that's come around in a long time outside of exotics that kind of piqued my interest and, kind of went, I might very well buy that. So on the good side, the performance that was kind of promised a few years ago, pretty much delivered. I'm sure there's some things somebody can nitpick apart, but for the most part, it's kind of ridiculous in terms of performance. The bad side is it's, I don't know, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 more than what, I guess not 50, but definitely 20 or $30,000 more than what they originally said, depending upon the model you're choosing and all that on the other side. I think I read somewhere it was, 50 to 55% more on the back end there. And that for me was kind of the case that I thought when Cybertruck came that really kind of made the case for, hey, this could very well be a big disruptor. Now, again, this is my opinion, guys, that's it. But at the time I thought, man, if you can give us this performance at this price, man, that might very well disrupt the truck industry, because now it's cheaper than what the average truck is, and you're getting, high-end performance on that, on the other side there. So that right there, I get it. The design is very polarizing. There's going to be a lot of folks that love it or hate it. I personally think a lot of truck drivers are gonna, or people that are truck people, kind of fall on the I don't like it side. But if you're giving them the same performance that they can get otherwise, but at $20,000 or $30,000 cheaper than what some of the other models were, that may get some people to cross over and kind of take the risk, especially the people who may not like it, but they don't just despise it, if that kind of makes sense. So kind of hitting some of these middle people here, getting them to come over here. But that didn't happen. It clearly wasn't, kind of sometimes I think Elon's, kind of like all of us do, your eyes and your ideas and your thoughts, you think, man, we can really do this. And then whenever you sit down to actually do it, you're like, okay, crap, we can't make it as cheap as we want. The materials are more expensive, or, be able to hit all the specs and still keep the price down. It was something that just didn't happen like they thought it was going to happen. And that's okay. That happens. That's part of taking on big challenges and doing things that are different and nobody's ever done before. You're going to have hits, you're going to have misses. So that for me takes one of the big reasons why I didn't ever think it would be like a massive disruptor, but one of the reasons why I thought it could would be the fact that you were getting so much more for less than what you get at a standard truck. And that's not the case anymore, which basically means now kind of the pricing's all kind of the same, and then that ultimately comes down to, are you okay with the polarizing look or not? That right there probably being the biggest factor driving somebody to it or away from it at that stage, because you can't really point to anything else and say that, one is better than the other, whatever the case is. And that actually, at the end here, we'll talk about it. That actually clues right into the warning that I have in regards to all this as well. That exact dynamic right there, because I'm already seeing some ridiculous stuff and I think it's going to get louder the further we go. So to me, my opinion is it's going to be a niche product. I don't think it's going to completely bomb, but I definitely don't think it's going to be the hit on the other side. I think it's more of a niche product. And honestly, it's not going to be the disruptor that it could have been if they could have gotten the price down. But I understand with everything that's crammed into it, I don't see how you could get that price down either. Now, again, Elon being Elon, you put a lot of faith in the fact he might be able to do it. If there's anybody in the world that can, it would be him. But clearly it was too much. So that way we're not getting that, true disruptor that I thought we could get. And that's okay. It is still awesome to me. I won't be buying one way too expensive. For me, it starts well over, I think it's 60,000 plus just for the low end model, which doesn't even deliver until 2025. Just for me, not personally going to go there too much. I have absolutely zero need for anything it does. It would just strictly be because it just looks like an alien sci-fi, 80s vehicle. And that's it. That's cool enough for me. That's, my big thing. So I like it. I think it has a lot of neat factors, especially for folks who use trucks for actual truck things. It's going to hit a lot of marks for them. Maybe not all marks, I understand, but it ticks a lot of the boxes for those guys. And so I think that's kind of where we're going to fall at. It's going to be a niche vehicle, not going to be a complete disaster, but definitely going to fall in that niche kind of category there. It'll have its little following. It'll have folks that just, swear by it. And then, it's just not going to be quite the disruptor that I thought it was going to be based upon the pricing. Now, here's kind of the warning I want to give you guys, and it's going to go both sides, both the bull and the bear. But so far, now again, I'm not out there searching for it either, so I don't know. You guys let me know exactly what you're seeing. But so far, it has been the bulls kind of out there taking kind of the cyberbeast specs and everything else, and then comparing it and saying, why would a Ford F-150 buyer ever want to buy that when you can get the beast and look at how much better it is and all that sort of stuff? And I'm like, you're not comparing apples to apples there, guys. The F-150 is kind of basically the base model of Fords, and then you're taking the best of the Cybertruck with all the ridiculous stuff at the top there, and then kind of comparing the two and saying, who wouldn't want one over the other? One, the cost difference is significant. And then two, there's two different trucks. You're not even comparing apples to apples there. Now, if you want to go over to like the Raptor and some of the other vehicles like that, okay, now we're making more of an apples to apples comparison there. But that's not what happened. They were just saying, oh, the demand's going to be massive because, man, if you buy an F-150 or a Toyota Tacoma or something ridiculous like that, why wouldn't you want the Cyberbeast? Because, or they didn't say, they said Cybertruck. And then they listed out all the beast specs. It's just kind of like, we're not really on the same page there again. You can't compare a Toyota Tacoma or a Ford F-150 to the Cyberbeast. Those are two different categories of vehicles altogether. So I just want to make you guys aware of that. I've seen it that way, and I can guarantee you we're going to see it the other way with bears drawing these ridiculous comparisons and showing how the Cybertruck actually sucks and how it actually doesn't perform, and using something over here on the other side that is, should be compared to the Cyberbeast, not to the lower end Cybertruck. So just kind of keep that in mind, that narrative is going to kick up, and it's just part of the journey with Tesla, right? We deal with it no matter what, just kind of like all Elon's ups and downs and, the bulls and the bears ups and downs. This is just part of the journey with Tesla. So I just kind of wanted you guys to have my thoughts there, have that warning. And hey, I think it's awesome. I think it's really cool. Like I said, if the price wasn't so much higher than it was before, it would tempt me. So for me, obviously I'm not going to go through with an order or anything else like that. but I still think it's going to be somewhat successful, but just kind of over in that niche category. And click this video here if you want to see exactly what I'm buying in this market, and click here to see my exact plan for this market. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.